Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome back to yet another video in our Unreal Engine 5 GASP game animation sample tutorials series we are currently working on. In the last video I showed you how to set up a custom character if you want to use that. I'm just gonna keep going with the UE5 mannequin because it looks clean. But you go on with your own character if you want to, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use this one. In this video I think we will add a dodge roll into the system so that we have attacks and a way to evade enemy attacks, and then I think we're gonna start working on the NPC after that. Maybe we'll see which direction we go. Maybe I'll set up some more example weapons as well. But yeah, I want to set up the dodge roll because there's something you have to think about there, and it could be the case with your own animations as well, and I'm going to show you once we get to it. We can use the game animation sample already has a roll animation in here, so you can use that one, or you can use your own if you want to, if you have something. I'm gonna get one of these, so I just search for roll, and then you can see that we have these land roll animation. See, so I can just duplicate that, call it left foot touch roll. I'm gonna add it to my animations here. I have some other animations, but I'm just gonna keep using this one. So we want to open the one that we just copied, and then probably go to somewhere around here in the middle, right click, I think there's fine, remove frames 0 to 31, and now we have a rolling animation. And probably gonna stop it like there, and remove 26 to 71 as well, and there we have a rolling animation. Save and turn it into a animation montage. We have our input graph. I'm gonna just add left alt for dodge for now. I'm gonna grab our input queue. I'm gonna search for our input queue. We're gonna add dodge into it as well. So now we can select dodge here. So if we can take action, we're gonna play montage. This one is our replicated function that we used. Advanced play montage. I'm just gonna call it, because otherwise I will forget what it's called. Replicate, and we're just gonna hard reference it for now, but this could be synchronously loaded into memory as well, because when I set this here, this is gonna be hard references now, so this combat component always loads this dodge roll animation into memory as well. So this should probably be synchronously loaded, unless this is like always the dodge roll animation every character will always use, then it's probably fine. But yeah, let's see if that works. Oops. So we need to enable root motion. So enable root motion, save. There we go. It's not super noticeable, but there is something going on here with the feet. It doesn't look very good. It's a very quick animation, so you can barely tell, but the feet are doing something crazy here. It's actually happening with all animations. It's happening with this animation as well, but you can't really tell because the feet are planted anyway. But in this dodge roll animation, when the feet aren't planted during the animation, you can see that the feet are actually doing something weird. They're trying to like get down to the floor, and that's because of the IK. So when we have these specific animations with the game animation sample, if you have like cool jump attacks or whatever, like as I said, a dodge roll like this, we need to disable the foot IK during those animations. It's not super, I think it's more noticeable with this one if I use the other animation. Yeah, you can see I'm like, this one is super noticeable. I'm not even touching the ground with this one, I'm just flying basically. And that's because of the IK is trying to like correct the character. So we need to go into our animation notify states. I'm gonna duplicate this state, disable foot IK. We can go here, get anim instance. Get anim instance, and now we need to call an interface event here to modify the foot IK. So, not the right one. Here we go. And it's this one, basically. So we promote, because the leg IK. So we promote this to a variable, actually just to show you, if I remove this. Okay, that was actually not it. It's the foot placement, maybe. This one. Is this one? No. It does still look weird, but it shouldn't. Now I have no leg IK interfering at all. Okay, you can see you're actually touching the ground now. It's just the animation is a bit weird. And if we use the other one, it should look better now. Okay, very low FPS. There we go. You can see the feet are way better now. But we want the foot AK most of the times, so we're just gonna connect it again. We're gonna promote this to a variable called foot IK alpha. Disable use to disable foot IK during animations where the IK interferes. So now we need a way to modify this foot IK value. We're gonna default it to 1 because the alpha is gonna be 1. By default, we already have the BI player and MVP, so we go to BI player and MVP. Function call set foot AK alpha. And we're gonna add a float value as the input. Just call it alpha. We go back to the animation blueprint and we should now be able to find that interface event, which we have here. This event itself will modify the alpha. So now the only thing that's left is basically to call this function from the animation state here, the disabled foot IK state we made. So from the owning mesh component, we get the animation instance, which will be the animation blueprint in this case. So when we call the interface here, it's going to be called this one. So, and on the end, we set it to 1, and on the begin, we set it to 0. So we now have an anim notify state that can modify the alpha value of the foot IK. Bonus knowledge, we don't need to replicate that or anything because the animation itself is replicated already. So as long as we just add that notify state to the dodge roll, it's gonna modify it by itself. State disable foot IK, and we're just gonna go the full length of the animation. We need another state. We're probably not going to set this fully up yet, but I assume you will ask about this if I don't set it up now anyway. So BI character maybe, BI player character. Call set iframes. No, actually, this could be to the combat, the shared one. I believe BI combat components. Oh, let's add it to this one for now. We'll see where we go later. Call set iframes is what I'm after. Iframes. Gonna add a variable here, BI frames. So not sure where to add it. We're gonna add it here. Event call set iframes. Same here, we're gonna do this as an it depends. We're just gonna do this as a let me think. This doesn't necessarily need to be replicated, but it probably should be replicated just to be sure. Actually, it doesn't need to be replicated. We'll set it to replicate it later if we notice we have an issue with it, but it shouldn't need to be replicated because we're gonna set this to an animation state. As I said before, that's gonna replicate itself during the animation anyway. So as long as the server sees the dodge animation and that state, the server will take care of that iframes variable anyway. States. State iframes. Calls it iframes. Iframes on, and on the end, iframes off. So we now have a way to tell if the character is iframing or not. We don't have like any damage stuff set up, and the MC can't damage us yet, so it doesn't really matter. But that's just to show you how you would set up iframes if you already have your own damage and combat stuff. I'm gonna get to it later, but that's fine for now. And then we need one final thing, I believe, because right now I can only roll in the direction. Can only roll in the direction that the character is already facing, because it's a rote motion animation, right? So we need to do the same thing that we do with light attacks. If I can figure out where I put the light attacks. Yes, okay. So input graph. And now let's remove this. Actually, go to the combat graph. I'm gonna make a new function. Client dodge. Try melee attack. That's fine. This could be a function, but just to keep track of it, I'm gonna have it here. And we're setting the component to be enabled here, and we need to add the final state here. Oh, actually 2 more states. We need to add the iframes here. So you decide however many iframes you want. If you want them to start instantly, I'm just gonna do like this, and somewhere around there. So I have a lot of iframes in this animation. You have to play around with yours. I think Dark Souls is somewhere around 12 frames or something. I don't know. And then we need the can't take actions, so we can, because now we have an issue as well. If we just spam, oh wait, need to actually call here. Try dodge roll. If I just spam, this is gonna happen, and that's not what we want. So we need to add the normal can't take action states, whatever we called it. Disable input, right? Input disabled. From there to there, something like that. It's a very short animation, so. Yeah, something like that. And after, we also need to go to our input queue, wherever that is. execute input queue. Try dodge roll. Because we set it to dodge here. If we can't do it, we're gonna dodge roll once the action becomes available instead. And let's see. There we go. And it is not the best animation. It's quite short, the animation. So you have something to work with there for free with that animation. But you probably should have something that actually moves the character a little bit more. So let's see how it looks with my other one. Is something... wait, I need to add the same states to this one. Yeah, you can tell the animation here is a little bit weird. It's probably the retargeting here. You can see it doesn't... That's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to be in the floor, in the ground here as well. Maybe I can fix it. I'm not sure if that works. No, it's probably not a good idea. Right, you can see it looks a little bit better, at least when... Oh, the frames. Oh, it's quite long. You can see it looks a little bit better, at least, with this animation. And that's how you dodge roll. You can obviously add directional dodge rolls as well if you don't want to use the input rotation. Might add that at some point, but this will be fine for this video, and I will see you in the next one. See ya!